Let's talk about weird but true news. I'll do a story, then you do a story, then I'll do a story. And then next week we'll reverse. Well, next week we'll have a special guest, I hope, if I get off my ass. And so hopefully we'll have 3 next week. But I am going to go with, I have 2 stories set up here. I'm going to go with one, then you go with yours, and then I'll do a third one. Sound good? All right.
Gucci.
So, weird but true news, insert jingle here.
Dun, 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 dun.
All right, chicken parade prompts changes to proposed restrictions in Iowa's capital. This is the headline, Katie. I am not kidding.
That was a lot of damn words.
I will say it one more time just so you guys can stay with me. Chicken parade prompts changes to proposed restrictions in Iowa's capital city. Now, I am saying this story for a couple of reasons. Number one, because I know somebody from Iowa that's probably going to watch this segment. And number two, this shit is hilarious to me. And I'm going to tell you why I think it's hilarious in a minute. But anyway, here is the article. Iowa's capital city is establishing a new pecking order for backyard chickens and roosters after some of their die-hard fans paraded around City Hall with some of their flocks on Monday. This is just in from the Associated Press. City manager Scott Sanders said in a statement issued Friday evening that he thinks the city can find a way to amend the proposed restrictions so they will, quote, better serve the whole community, including chicken owners. The proposal that got preliminary approval from the city council would have cut the number of birds allowed from 30 to 12 and banned the roosters that are disturbing the peace in some neighborhoods. Now, my question is, this is me saying this, is this not the largest cock block you have ever seen in your life?
I don't like you. That's the whole reason he told it. Oh my god. That's insane. Chicken parade.
Chicken parade organizer Ed Fallon said the city seemed to be overreacting to a total of 3 complaints about chickens that were registered between the start of 2020 and June of 2024. A small group of people holding chickens came out Monday to march from the State House to City Hall. Sanders said, I love the fact that his name is Sanders, by the way, and this is a story about chickens. Like, this guy, I'm curious if he's a veteran and if he made it to colonel. But anyway, Sanders said he asked Assistant City Manager Malcolm Hankins to draft an amendment that will be broadly accepted. After listening to council member concerns at the July 22nd council meeting, we believe there is a better path forward for an amendment to this ordinance at a later date, Hankins said in the release. Now, the new rules should allow roosters, but require the licensing of chickens and set up a process for dealing with nuisance animals that can't contain their cockadoodle-doos. That is the end of the story. That is the actual story on the Associated Press.
Sounds like half the population that's male.
I'm going to leave that one alone. So anyway, guys, ladies and gentlemen, while all of us are fighting over politics, religion, and the Olympics, there is a large cock block going on in Des Moines, Iowa that none of us knew about. And if it wasn't for the Chris and Kadie Show, you would not know about these important matters that matter to all of us. You are welcome. Katie, what is your weird but true news story this week?
So I'm actually going to do 2 because what I have, they're kind of short.
That's cool.
And you had like a whole story.
Well, that'll make it fair anyway because I have 2 as well. So that'll work.
Okay. This is the first one I found earlier. And I love it. If you're drunk or violent in Japan.
Ladies and gentlemen, there is nothing worse than being drunk and purple in Japan. Just saying. Go ahead, Katie.
I didn't say purple. I said, oh. That was my train of thought just now. Anyway, if you are drunk or violent in Japan, Shut up. Police will take a plastic sheet and roll you up like a burrito. I didn't know that was a thing. So police in Japan rarely ever resort to violence as they choose to de-escalate the situation at hand first. After the wrapping, police will take the drunk or violent person to the station to let them calm down. That's nuts. Just wrap you up like a burrito, roll you down the street.
God dang it. What time does Taco Bell close? Let me see. All right. I need to have me a purple burrito. Let's go.
I hate you. Go ahead and tell your other one while I find it.
Wow, listen to her just giving orders out, stream. All right, that's fine.
I know I sound like you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about Sasquatch. This is very important, and this is from the courthouselibrary.ca. This is an actual thing. To date, librarians at the courthouse library have not been able to find any references to Sasquatch or Sasquatches, or the creature by any other name, in any British Columbia statute. However, we have discovered that the myth may have originated in Nanaimo at the turn of the 20th century. The Best of Sasquatch Bigfoot by John Green contains an article originally printed in The Colonist. The article quotes a letter where the writer is asking the government agent at the time for permission to shoot, quote, the wild man of Horn Lake, unquote. The article then states, quote, Bray has informed Kincaid that it is unlawful to shoot Mowglis within the province of British Columbia at any time, unquote. Now, in the United States, however, there is a law on the books against killing any Sasquatch in the state of Washington. That includes Yeti, Bigfoot, or any other giant hairy ape that is not your Aunt Lila. On April 1st, 1969, the Board of Commissioners of Skamania County, Washington State, adopted an ordinance for the protection of Sasquatch Bigfoot creatures. This is ordinance number 69-01. Y'all can look it up yourself if you want. Although it might sound like an April Fool's Day joke, it is an official ordinance. In fact, it was published in the local weekly newspaper, the Skamania County Pioneer, on April 4th and April 11th, 1969. Because people did not take it seriously, the newspaper publisher had the article notarized again on April 12th and printed both the ordinance and an affidavit of publication in a subsequent paper edition. This was a very important thing.
Real shit.
The ordinance has been partially repealed and amended since then, and the revised ordinance, which is ordinance number 1984-02, if you all want to look it up, went into effect on April 2nd, 1984. The amended law also declared the animal, quote, an endangered species, unquote, and created a, quote, Sasquatch refuge, unquote. An ordinance list and disposition table can be found online. Now, just so we're clear, up until 1984, it was illegal to kill a Sasquatch in that county in Washington State. And then in 1984, they were like, dude, that law is so dumb. So dumb. We shouldn't be doing that. Let's amend it to now you can't kill them, and if you see one, we must give it a safe refuge.
Oh my god. You know what? I get it. Same
Now,
with Sasquatches.
Nearby in Whatcom County, Washington,
Shoot 'em.
a resolution was adopted that also declares the county a, quote, Sasquatch protection and refuge area, unquote. The resolution number 92-043, Katie, if you're following at home. This one went into effect in June of 1992. A resolution list and disposition table can be found online. Now, the purpose behind these laws was actually to protect the safety and well-being of persons living or traveling in these areas when a Sasquatch is, quote-unquote, sighted. As many well-armed scientific investigators and casual hunters show up to try to take specimens. So essentially what they did is they made it illegal to shoot a legendary mythical creature that they don't believe exists, because by people trying to shoot these mythical creatures, they're actually shooting each other. So this begs the question, Kadie, if it's not just illegal to shoot them, why are there resolutions for safety in refuge areas?
Baby, that's just some work.
Okay, look. Stop shooting the Sasquatch. Instead, we need to bring them home.
Oh my God.
But yeah, that's what the article says. It is because that hunters, armed scientific investigators and casual hunters were showing up to take specimens and getting shot by each other when they thought or saw movement in the woods. But again, that does not explain, I saw that, the resolutions and amendments that these counties put forth to actually set up refuge areas for these clearly non-existent animals.
Oh my God.
Great stuff.
Also, I was lowering my chair, so I wasn't falling. It
not
was
falling.
very sudden.
You totally did that controlled. All right, so what is your last weird but true news story?
Okay, I'm going to do two because these are just like short sentences, facts. Shut up! I'm taking initiative, okay?
I love it.
Anyway, fun fact number one. It says Lady Gaga, bless her heart, once spent $50,000 on a ghost detector.
Let's go. Of course she did.
See, that's one. Okay, this one's a little bit longer. Considering gelatin is made up of animal skin and bones, right? Yeah. Gummy worms technically have more bones than actual worms, since worms don't have any.
Gummy worms have more bones than real worms. Okay, let's go. Makes sense to me.
The math is mapping.
It totally is. I agree. That's great. Gummy worms have more bones than worms.
I have more if you want to hear more.
No. Just save them for another week, Kadie. We have to make this segment last, right? This is one of our more popular segments.
Funny as shit.